we're doing today is we're cutting a simple mailbox post, and this is to demonstrate the mortise and tenon joint and the diagonal brace. And this three things, the mortise and tenon and the brace, are the building blocks for all timber frame buildings. So it's in every building. There's that corner joint.
All right.
And it's in every building over and over and over and over again. So once you learn those three basic things, the mortise and the tenon and the diagonal brace, you can build any frame. So that's what we're demonstrating. Last year, there was a group that used to do timber framing in this area, and they dropped out for some reason, we don't know. And so we were asked to come in. Bob Sproul, who works for the state of New Hampshire, and asked if we could do some type of a demonstration. So we did the mailbox post last year, and we donated it to the FFA, Future Farmers of America.
Right, nice.
And they used it for a fundraiser at their auction, at their conference. So we hope to donate this one this year to them as well. But I haven't seen them yet to talk to them. One of the organizers here of the Farm and Forest Show wanted some timber frame sawhorses. So I have this design here that we're working on to make some timber frame sawhorses. We're going to make 2 of those, and then we're going to put that big plank over there that we're using for a bench on the horses to be like a display or a bench or something. So that's what we're working on this year. Right now, Bob's on break, but he's done the 2 legs, and this is the top. These are upside down right now, and right now Mike's working on one of the 2 pieces to make the foot for the bottom of the piece, and then we'll cut the bevel and we'll cut underneath. And then I was just on the shaving horse making pegs for the joints. This timber frame is all held together with mortise and tenon joints with pegs. No nails, no metal.
Right. How did you guys get involved in doing it this way?
Well, I have a sawmill, and I make timbers for timber framers for their projects. I wanted to learn about timber framing, so I joined the Guild. The Guild is an organization that teaches timber framing to everybody and anybody that wants to learn. We have members in every state of the Union. We have from other countries, Canada, France, Germany, England, Scotland, Scandinavian countries, Australia, Russia, and people from all over the world, Africa, a couple of over there, and they're all furthering the craft of timber framing.
We moved up from Pennsylvania, and we watched a lot of the Amish farmers do a lot of the same. It looks, to me anyway, it looks similar to what you're doing. I don't know if it's exactly the same or not, but
well, when the continent was settled, people from Scotland, England, France, Germany, all came over, and they all brought their traditional building methods. So in the New World, so we have barns from every country that the people came from. And as they developed over the century, the 1800s, it all morphed or modified into the American barn. So we now have an American style of barn. The Amish people are probably German style building. But it's all the similar mortise and tenon joints, different names because they're German-based, I believe. I might be wrong on that. Every timber in a building gets its name by its location. Mike's using an 1.5-inch chisel. He's chopping a mortise. We start with boring a round hole with an antique drill called a boring machine. And then we chop it out and make it square or rectangular.
Compared to something like this where it takes so much craftsmanship to...
Well, it takes a while. It's more labor intensive to cut a timber frame building for a house or a barn It's usually assembled in 1 or 2 days with a barn raising type of event. But it'll last centuries, hundreds of years. Drive around the countryside and look at all the timber frame buildings. They're everywhere.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, don't they wet some of the wood before putting it in, and then it expands or something like that?
The timbers are considered green timbers, fresh sawn. Okay. This was a log Wednesday morning.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That piece over there that's a little aged, that's the leftover from last year's project. Bob and his friends made these pieces last week on a fresh log.
Oh.
And it's a little sticky.
Yeah, I was always on the assumption any kind of timber, like, 2x4s, things like that, had to be, aged a certain amount of time.
2x4 construction has to be kiln dried to meet code. This is green timber. And if you cut the wood with mortise and tenons when it's green, it's a lot easier because there's moisture in there. The wood is softer. It's easier to cut.
Makes sense.
A piece of wood that's dried is harder. So it dries in place. When you put the frame together and it dries in place, the joints hold the timbers from twisting or bowing or warping. The pegs, lots of times we use dry wood for the pegs, but the pegs that I made today were from a piece of white oak that I just milled 2 weeks ago, so they're not very dry. But what happens is we'll drive the peg in, and the moisture from the green pine will soak into the peg and expand the peg.
Maybe that's
and
what I was
bind the joint up.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you your sharing.
Here's my card over there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Jim.